You hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/Inkdependence keeps this blog ad-free. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence. I am Mike, and in this space today you're going to see a whole bunch of stuff from Galen Leather. Galen Leather is a company that was it was like born out of some adversity and some tragedy, I guess. But it's like a beautiful story, right? And I encourage you to go to galenleather.com. You'll see a link in the description down there, and check out their story because I never got to meet Zainab while she was around. She died tragically last July, way too early, and I met her husband, Yunus, at the DC Pen Show, and so we got to talking a little bit, and we'd like seen each other online and this sort of thing, and so it was very nice to meet him. He's like such a nice dude, and their son is such an adorable kid, and was like running around and like handing stuff out to vendors and just being it was very nice. And this was like just a month after they lost Zainab, and so like I never met her, and I'm even getting a little bit like choked up, like trying to figure out how to do this video about this like tragedy. But they didn't let that slow them down at all. It seems like they are energized and awesome, and I encourage y'all to check out Galen Leather because it's kind of a beautiful story, and they seem like really nice folks, and it's a family business in Istanbul, Turkey. Hopefully we'll be seeing Yunus and the whole Galen Leather crew at more shows this year. I haven't checked to see which ones they'll be at, but I hope they will. They're at DC and San Francisco last year, and maybe some more. You can also find, by the way, Galen Leather at a variety of your favorite online retailers. I know for sure that it is at Van Ness Pen Company. I know for sure that it is at Lemur Ink. I'm pretty sure it's at Goulet Pens as well, and probably some others. They're making a full-on North American invasion, which is great because this stuff is very cool. So let's look through a bunch of the stuff that that Yunus hooked me up with in DC. Some of it he gave me for review, some of the rest we like bought because I mean it's a cool endeavor and we want to support them, and you know, they make neat stuff. Okay, so here's the first thing, and this is something that is actually sold out on the Galen Leather site. I'm not sure if they're going to make more of these or not. I don't really know. I did find this on the Van Ness Pen site, and it is just like this beautiful little pen box. Like, this is all walnut, I believe. And I don't want to shake it too much because I've got pens in there. I don't want to shake them around, but it's got little silicone feet on the bottom, so it sits on your desk nicely. It's got these little, it's got these hinges on the back. They're just like these like neat post hinges. And then this is held together by a curiously strong magnet, like right here. So don't get that near, I don't know, stuff that like, don't put your credit card in there because it will wreck it. But this is holding three pretty good sized pens. This is a franklin-christoph Panther 40. This is a Leonardo Memento Zero, and this here is a Birmingham Pen Company 6th Avenue, which is a big chunker of a pen. Very like a big thick cap and everything like this, and it fits very nicely. And this is just a beautiful thing to have on your desk to keep your pens in. They've got nice little like grooves here to hold your pens. I think I'm going to take this to work and put it on my new desk. I just put together a new desk, and I think this will go nicely on it because it's wood. And this is a really nice pen case. I am into it. And I found this online at Van Ness, where it's listed for sorry, I had to dig out my notes, where it's listed for $32, and that seems about right. Although I don't remember what we paid for this, but I know Yunus didn't give this to us. So anyway, this is beautiful and very cool. Nice woodworking. It's very smooth, well polished. I love this logo in the top. I think it's gorgeous. Anyway, psyched about that. Let's do another leather or another wood thing before we get into paper and leather and stuff. And that's this. This is the note board, and this is made for Rhodia notepads. And y'all know I use Rhodia notepads a lot. You've probably seen this in any of my ink videos you've watched since DC because I saw this and had to have it. I honestly don't remember if I bought this or if Yunus gave it to me. He was like just putting things in a sack, and I'm like, no, stop, let me pay for this stuff. And he's like, no. So like some of this I bought and some of this he gave it to us, and I don't remember exactly which. So this is somewhere in between. I can't remember. But anyway, this is $39 at online. I feel like it might have been a little bit cheaper at DC, but that was months ago, and like so much stuff has happened since then that I don't really remember. But the deal is you use a screwdriver or just like a coin or something. I've got this one finger tight, so I can unscrew it, but this one is a little bit on the tighter side. I probably shouldn't have screwed that down as hard, but it holds perfectly a Rhodia notepad. This is the Rhodia A5 top-bound notepad, and it stays in there. It's really nice. And this is like solid walnut. It's very nicely finished. I like this little metal plaque they've put in here. This is one of the things that when people come to my office, they're like, oh, look at that thing. I'm like, yeah, check this thing out. If I have to have one, like one thing that could be altered about that, and that's these bolt heads on the back. I don't know if it'd be possible to recess them into this board. I don't know if this board is thick enough to really recess those or something, but these, when you put it down on your desk, kind of go clank, and they're not exactly even. It feels like there's a slight, like just a tiny wobble. It's just enough to be like, I wish there was something else. Or maybe like put some other feet down here at the bottom, little silicone feet or something. Maybe I'll put a little silicone foot up here next to those to like offset them. I don't really know, but I think that's the only thing that I would change about this. But if you're holding this in your hand and like writing on it, this is absolutely solid and perfect, and it looks classy as all heck. So check that thing out. If you see me in Philly, I might bring this with me just to like use as my notepad at the table, because it's like, you're not going to lose it. All right, so there's a couple of wood things. They also do some nice paper with Tomoya River. So these are two little Tomoya River everyday books. The smaller one is a 3-pack for $23, and the larger one is an A5, and this is a 3-pack for $32, which I think is actually pretty solid for 128 pages of Tomoya River, 52 gram, in this nice binding. This is actually my workout notebook. I've been like writing down like, you know, the date and like how I felt and like what the workout was I did and like any other stuff I want to write down, just as a way to like, I don't know, not hate working out so darn much. Sometimes it just sucks. But if you write it down, like it gets that words onto the paper and out of your head, and also kind of lets you look back and be like, oh yeah, I used to hate this way more than I do now. Or yeah, I'm tired after doing this, but man, I was way worse when I did this a month or two ago. So, you know, that's what I'm using this little pocket guy for. This big one I haven't used yet, just because I have some other A5 stuff that I'm using at the moment. But this is a very nicely made and very nicely appointed book, I think. I mean, I really like the foil work up here, looks good. All this this looks nice and has a little texture to it. I dig this book. So 23 and $32 for 3 packs of these guys. Really nice for Tomoya River stuff. All right, let's look at some leather, y'all. I'm going to do pin cases first, and then I have this portfolio. So let's do some pin cases. In fact, let's do this one first. This is Audrey's pin case. We certainly bought this one because she sent me back. She's like, I have to have that. And I wish I had gotten one too, darn it, because this is a great pin case. This is a zippered pin case. It is full grain leather. They call this Crazy Horse, is what it's listed as. I don't know why. I don't think it's made of horses, but that's just the color pattern of this thing. And it's like this gorgeous reddish brown with all these like streaks and whorls, and it's going to pick up, you know, some you know, use marks as you go, and I think that's awesome. It's got this nice YKK zipper in here. Gotta hydrate. Really nice YKK zipper all the way around. Like zips very smoothly. No catches or any other weird thing. It's good stuff. And then inside you have a space for a small notebook. She's, of course, got a franklin-christoph notebook in here, because of course she does. And then you've got space for 5 pens, and she's got all Sailor Pro Gear Slims over here of various types. So she keeps a lot of her Pro Gear Slims, at least ones that she's like kind of currently using. And I've had this little notebook for a little while, and she's like, do the review and give me the thing back, because she wants this back. And I don't blame her, because this is great. The inside, it doesn't actually lay completely flat, which is I think it's a little bit too bad. Like, I kind of wish it laid completely flat, but I get why it doesn't. It's got this nice velvet interior, and that kind of holds it from doing that. But it doesn't have any problems with you know, closing or any of that sort of thing, even with 5 pins in there. I guess if I move the clips all off to the side, I bet it would close a little bit better. Let me see. There we go. That does make it a little bit skinnier, actually, by just a fraction. But yeah, these 5 pins, and this can actually hold fairly large pins. So these are Pro Gear Slims, which are fairly small, but it'll also, and I know because I've tried, hold the Conan Minimalistica. Doesn't even come close to these zippers, and these thick elastic bands will keep these from moving around at all. You've also got like, you can throw a Twisby Go in there, and throw like this 3776 in there, throw this big old chonker of a Carolina Pinco in there. Plenty of clearance that's not going to rub up against the edges, because that's the only thing about this that I would maybe alter, is I would put something in there to maybe protect the top and bottom of your pen from this zipper, which is kind of aggressive. But on the other hand, I mean, these pins aren't moving in this in these elastic bands. So it's probably not a real problem. But yeah, it's a great little pin case, perfect to like throw in a coat pocket, or if you're Audrey, into a purse or a secondary bag or whatever. And it's just gonna hold your stuff, and it's gonna keep looking more awesome over time. So check this guy out. These go for $49 for this 5-pin and 1 notebook case. They also, I mean, they have several different kinds of cases in this vein, but this is just like one example of that type. Okay, so this is 5 pens, but you're saying to yourself like, hey Mike, what if I have like way more than 5 pens? Well, Galen's got you covered on that too. This is a 40-pin case. This is one that definitely Yunus gave me to check out. And this is a great case. It retails for $95 for this 40-pin case. It is like the other full grain leather. It is stitched in-house in Istanbul, Turkey. It has a YKK zipper on it. It is pretty chunky. And one of the things I like most about this is that it just stands up. Like, other pin cases I have are about half as thick. This is a big, thick chonker of a case. I mean, this is as wide as my hand, and I've got pretty big hands. This is me sitting my hand on top of it. And it's like almost exactly the same width as my hand. So it's pretty big, but what this lets you do that a skinnier pin case doesn't is you can just set it on your desk like this. Or I guess like that if you wanted to. Like, I don't know what your desk is like, but for me, I just have this little side desk that's over here that y'all can't see, but I just have this sort of sitting over there, and when I want to find a pen, I just grab this thing and unzip it, and it's awesome. It just sits there. It actually makes a good bookend. I have a bunch of other stuff sitting up next to it, and like leaning on it. Like I had this over here just like leaning on it because it's not going to knock this over. It's huge. So it's great. I really enjoy this a lot. So let's open this up. One thing that's fun about this is you can zip it all the way around. That YKK zipper is quite nice. And then you take this little tail on the back and you unvelcro that thing. And that allows it to open totally flat and just lay there on your desk and be, you know, flat and awesome. So this holds 10 pins here. It has a single elastic band. I usually prefer a double elastic band just because it keeps the pins from getting cattywampus in there and like touching each other. But this is a very thick elastic band. It's thicker than usual ones. Like, I think it's probably about double. Probably about double what you usually find on these things. And so I find that they don't really move. Like they can wiggle, but I haven't opened this up and found any of them, you know, in a seriously weird condition or anything. And then you flip that over, there's another 10. You flip this flap up, there's another 10. And it holds some pretty big stuff. It obviously won't accommodate the massive and rubbery cap of this Rotring core, but it has no problem with franklin-christoph 31s and 20s, little Kaweco Sports. This is a Conway Stewart. Over here we've got some Pelicans. This is a 1000, this is an 800. The big Esty, Ondoros, Lamy All-Stars, like... This will hold all kinds of things. And over here, guess what? Another 10. It's like protected by this very thick, thick velvety material here. So these things are not touching ever, which is very nice. And also, I think this is the right size because this always kind of... I was a little bit worried about this getting caught in a zipper or something, but it kind of can't. Like, it falls in there, and I haven't had that be a problem at all. But this holds all kinds of pins for me, and it's sort of where I'm keeping a lot of the pens I'm not using at the moment. I am trying to limit myself to not ink every pen, but this has been a really nice case. You can see this is actually very, very thick and structured here, and also here. This middle bit has a lot of structure to it. So yeah, when you zip it back up, you just Velcro that guy back up, and just go around the corner. Bam! Done! The 40-pin case only has one little bit of branding, and that's this stamped-in Galen Leather Company thing right here, which just says handmade, established 2012. So that's pretty cool, and I can see this being a pin case that I'm going to use for a long time. I mean, this leather is not going to... this is going to happen in this leather. This stuff is great. It's full grain leather. It's good stuff, man. Good. It looks really... This is, again, that crazy horse pattern, same as the little case. Okay, so we have a big case, we have a little case, we have paper, we have wood stuff. This is the last thing I have to show you. And this is a pin case that I've actually been carrying for the entirety of the last semester. This is my pick up and throw in my bag everyday pin case. It has picked up some color and such. This is just undyed leather. It's just like... This is just what color the leather was, he said. It was natural or something like that. And I believe this was a special just for the DC Pen Show. I'm not sure if you can find this finish elsewhere. But you can definitely get this in the Crazy Horse, which is what all my other stuff is in. You can get it in like I think a blue dyed leather, a green leather, a couple other things like that. You'll find them online. Check out Van Esch, check out Lemur Ink, you know, those kind of... Check out Galen Leather Company themselves. And so this has got my school stuff in it. So when you open this up, again, big, thick YKK zipper. In fact, is this thicker than this? Is this a bigger zipper? I think that's a bigger zipper. I don't know zipper sizes, but this is a one size up from whatever this is. This means business. So I have this nice pull tab here, zips all the way around, and then it lays flat. So what I have in here is I have a Fabriano notebook. I really like these Fabriano notebooks. I write my so do I have any notes in here that need to be taken out? Yeah, these are all cool. This one we don't need anymore. That was junk. Yeah, the rest of this now we're cool. I make notes on the inside because it's like you can write on it. It's pretty easy. I keep a bunch of sticky notes here, like a pad of them on there. And then these, when I get done with the page, I just rip out because this is just my note to myself about what we did in each class each day, where we started and stopped and that kind of thing. This will, of course, hold any A5 notebook, and maybe more than you think, because this is very clever, I think. You have this piece right here, which is like this thick structured piece of velvety stuff, and it has a break here and it has a break here. So that means if you have a top-bound notebook, you can stick that in here too. If you have a ring-bound notebook, you can stick that in there too. If you have a side-bound like I had in there, you just put that in the side. And you can put like whatever notebook you want in there, which I think is very clever, and this is a good idea. Let's just move like right to left because that's what we're doing. This is like the piece of the notebook that I don't really understand. It's like a little keyring thing, and I am not a person that puts my keys on stuff like this. In fact, I usually don't have this in the notebook. I just have it in here now so I won't lose it, but it like unclips and you can like put your keys on it, or like, I don't know, whatever you want on there. You can actually, if you like, hang it out the top. I wouldn't necessarily carry it by this. I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, it's stitched in there pretty well, but I don't know that I would necessarily carry it by this, but you could just put it there and have your keys off the side if you wanted, I guess. I don't usually keep this in here because I don't know, it just doesn't do anything for me. But you could put whatever you want on this. Like you can keep like bookmarks or I don't know, something on it if you like. Then moving over here, you have this interesting arrangement of stuff over here for organization. So this, you can actually throw like an iPad mini back here or a Kindle or something. Like it's meant to hold stuff. This has got some serious capacity in there, it turns out. I haven't been. I'll take like some notes and stuff and I'll just stick these back in here, or like a small notebook, or like, let's see, will this fit back there? Let me see. Whoop, everything's falling. Only kinda. You want something slightly smaller than this, but any smaller notebooks you can just stick in there to keep, and they'll be kind of hidden. There's your checkbook back there. I don't know what you want to hide. Hide some stuff back there if you're not going to put a tablet in there, but it works out pretty well for small stuff. And then you have this other, you can put so many things in here. There's so many options. So currently I have a couple of pens. I have a pen in here that was in this loop, and then here I have a pencil. This is a Blackwing with a point protector, and this fits in there no problem at all. Just keeps it from banging. It will like jiggle around in this loop, but it's not going anywhere. And then you have this, which is actually meant to hold pens, and this comes out. There we go. It doesn't come out casually, but it does come out. And you can put all your pens in here that you want, and then you can like put it off to the side and keep this closed if you like. And there's, space here, and there's this, and there's these for cards. These are not terribly deep. They're for like... My camera battery suddenly died, so I'm not sure where I was. I think I was talking about this pocket. Let's see how deep this guy is. I don't keep anything in this pocket, or I haven't. It's fairly deep. It's about that deep. I wonder what else we can put in there. Can we put one of these in here? I should have tried this out before I got on camera, right? Take my blotter out of there. Yeah, you take your blotter out, you can, not really. It needs something smaller. I'm not sure exactly what to put in there, but there's so many options. Like, if you go online, you can find all kinds of things that people are putting in these little pockets and slip cases and all that sort of jazz. One of the popular things to put down here is to roll up like your iPhone charging cables or whatever. You like roll them up, or your headphones, and like just slip them in there. This is a good size for like a rolled up pair of headphones, or charging cables, that kind of jazz. And then you put something smaller up here. I haven't done that. I actually like just I kind of like throwing this pencil in here. I don't know if I'm ever going to use that because, pencils, but, I like throwing this stuff up in here. But one of the things about this, this deal with this key on here is if you like throw your keys on there, I don't think I'd want to put that on there with my keys and then put like a decent pen next to it because it'd be scraping up. So I'm not really sure what this is or why we need it, but it comes with nonetheless. So what you end up with is like this very clever notebook. It's only got a little bit of branding here. You could, I think, get some personalization put on here, but I sort of like that it's just sort of mostly bare. And then it's got, wear marks from where, this is, I think, where the binding is. Yeah, that's about where the binding is on the notebook I have in there. So just like throwing this in and out of a backpack or holding it and carrying it around. I take it to meetings and all kinds of things. Whoop, I lost my pencil. So let that be a lesson to you. If you just throw this notebook around while it's got a loose pencil in there, you might lose your pencil. But it is long enough, so like whatever. That's what I was trying to demonstrate. It's not perfect. Pencils. Ugh, it's trying to escape me as much as I'm trying to escape it, right? But there you go. So what you end up with is this very nice little portfolio that zips very well, that lays on your desk prettily, and wears nicely over time. He said that given more time and use, this picks up all kinds of interesting patina just from being out in the world and being in your hand and being in use. Yeah, this is all mine's gotten. It was much pinker, I think, when I first got it. So in any case, this has been a whole bunch of Galen stuff. And thank you I hope you hung out with me and, learned some stuff about Galen. It is a company just like, I'm glad I get to tell y'all about them and share some support for these folks because I think they're making cool stuff. I think their prices are very nice. They are just lovely and joyful in person and just a joy to know about at a pen show and get to visit with. They don't stop smiling and like shaking hands and it's lovely. So, go out and give Galen some support. If you found something here that you think is really cool, I mean, my favorite things, dude, I like all this stuff. I mean, if I had to pick a favorite thing, it would probably be this 40 pin case, just because it is so darn useful to be able to just set this like a book and not take up a bunch of room on my desk or on my table or whatever. Just like stick it in a shelf like a book. I think that is so neat. Close second is probably Audrey's case, and then like, I don't know, like all this stuff is very cool. It's like picking a favorite child, right? But this is stuff that I've been using aside from this gray book. I haven't really used this, but everything else here has been seeing constant use since I got it in DC, or maybe I think we picked up this in San Francisco. I don't know, maybe another thing in San Francisco. It's a little hazy. That was months ago, man. I've been enjoying this stuff a lot, and it's seen a lot of use. So go out and find your favorite Galen stuff. Go to your favorite retailers. Go to like a Lemur or a Van Ness or a Goulet or GalenLeather.com themselves. They have very reasonable shipping, even from Turkey, which is pretty cool. So check them out. Go read their story there. If you look under their About section, you can see their story, and you can hear about how the thing came together and why Galen Leather exists. And I think it's a really nice story. So that's it. Thank you very much to Galen Leather. I hope to see y'all again very soon at a pen show. Thank you for, giving me this stuff for review. And, man, I will see y'all later. Y'all take care of yourselves. Think about what you put out in the world. Make it a better place. If you're going to be at the Philly Pen Show, I'm also going to be at the Philly Pen Show this year. So come say hi. I'll have a table. I should be easy to find. So I'll be stationary. And I will see y'all later. Peace out.